Welcome to the SpeedStudio podcast, where art accelerates business, design drives performance, and we explore the culture of speed with athletes, business leaders, and creatives who define it. Welcome to the SpeedStudio podcast. We have an exciting guest today, so we're going to do a quick intro because we have a lot going on this Tuesday. We've got a photo shoot. The guys will be here in a few minutes to create chaos, and then we have to go shoot a video later in the afternoon with a client.
It's early.
And it's 9 o'clock.
Well, we've already recorded a podcast.
But we've already recorded the podcast before 9 a.m. Feeling good. I like the morning. I have more energy in the morning, so for me, it's better.
Definitely.
But we have a lot going on. So it's still freezing in Atlanta. Cole has flown in from sunny California to the Arctic of the East.
It's ridiculous how cold it is. 25 years, I don't think it's ever been this cold this long.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And by the way, shout out to all of our new Canadian listeners, because I know Maggie's going to bring a lot of Canadian folks on. Welcome. This is Chad and Nikki Strickland, SpeedStudio podcast. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. If you could stop sending your cold air down here,
that'd be great.
That would be really good, because we don't live down here for it to be this cold.
You can keep your cold air. Keep the cold air. We don't want it.
You guys love it. We don't.
Because we don't even have skiing. So
I
we
know.
don't even get the benefits of like snow or anything. It's just cold.
Just ice.
Yeah.
Slippery ice. I did slip on the ice other day.
You have a slip and fall thing, like a slip and fall problem.
I mean, I was wearing shoes that have leather soles at a black tie event, and it's icy outside. Of course, I want to go down like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot going on the past few days because it's only Tuesday and it feels like it should be Friday. But we went to a charity ball for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, one of our amazing clients and close friends. The Matzagites invited us, and it was a really great time for obviously a very incredible charity. It was the first time we've been able to get like fully dressed up in a long time.
Yeah. Dust off the tux.
Yeah, it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And then going into the week, again, we have tons of client work, a lot of SpeedStudio.
It's launch week.
It's launch week.
Hard launch.
Yes. So Michael and Cole are planning all their content for this week, planning all their photos they're going to capture for all the sponsors. So it's pretty exciting.
New kit day.
We got the kits last night, and yep. I will tell you, they look incredible.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about. And this is obviously, everyone knows us. We're going to have multiple kit drops this season. This first one is pretty fresh.
Yeah, so fresh and so clean.
Yes, it is. And we are having our launch party this Friday. So if you're listening to this and you're in Atlanta and you want to come, reach out to us. It is getting tight. We've got limited space in the studio, so reach out to us. We're going to have a DJ. We'll have some surprises, kit reveal, maybe a little sneak peek of the new Basso Palta 3. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. So today's guest, really excited about our first current World Tour racer that's a female that we've ever had in the podcast. Obviously, we've had some retired World Tour racers, so I'm really excited personally. But Maggie Coles-Lyster is on the podcast with us today. We met her in Girona last year when we were there for the Traca. She wasn't racing the Traca, but we met her because she is the better half of another podcast guest that we've had in the past. Multi-podcast guest.
Joe Laverick.
Yes. So she's a lovely, lovely, lovely human. Today's episode is one of inspiration because when we talked to her last year, she was really struggling with some health issues that she'll go into deeper explanation. So I don't need to dig into that. But, recently has just had a kind of life-changing win on her side. And I think all of that suffering and surgeries and recovering and having to go through all that has really paid off. So we caught her on a time where she's having a moment.
Yeah, she just won her first World Tour race after coming back from a pretty serious surgery in July. And that was down at the Tour Down Under one-day race. Many of you probably saw the human-powered health sprinter come across the line and win in dramatic fashion. It was pretty awesome. We were pretty excited. So we reached out to her. Now she's at the UAE Tour, and she's about to race that stage race.
It was our first podcast recording in the Middle East with someone.
It is.
So,
And one thing we talked about that I think you have spoken about a lot on our podcast is this need to advocate for yourself. So there's a lot of discussion around that, which I think was pretty cool.
Yeah, really good. And Maggie has been racing bikes since she was 8 years old. Her parents own a bike shop. Also Cyclist. She started on the track, so she's an Olympian. She has won. She's the Canadian National Road Champion. That was back in 2022.
Yep.
And so that was kind of her last big win, was the national road race. So to be able to come back 4 years later on a new team and really prove that, like, I've still got it.
Pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. What a huge relief.
Exactly. So enjoy today's episode. Welcome to all our Canadian listeners. We hope you come back for some other episodes because I think this is a great one.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay.
Well, Maggie, you are on a porch and it looks really warm, and we're really jealous. The sun's shining in your face. It's glowing there, and we are dark and gloomy. Wow, look at that.
That's nice.
Got some Abu Dhabi action.
That is awesome. Yeah, we're dealing with a Canadian air situation here. Like we've been talking about Canadians a lot because we don't understand how you deal with being this cold all the time. This has been the coldest it's been in Atlanta for 25 years.
Is that where you are right now? You're in Atlanta.
Yeah,
we're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And it's so annoyingly cold.
So what's going on there? Have you ever been there before?
Yeah, it's my 4th time here.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like a flat sprint race, I feel like this is one of those races that just the rest of my career, I'm like, UAE and China are the 2 guarantees every year.
They're always going to send you there. What is it like? We've never been there.
Honestly, I don't love it. It's just desert.
Yeah.
It's just sand dunes and hot and dusty and, all the buildings are so new and they're just constantly building. Like, you can tell there's so much money that they're just always under construction here and building more and more and more. And we ride around this circuit that's just for bikes. It's like a 10K circuit.
Yeah.
But every year you come, now they've put a velodrome there.
Wow.
So they have a velodrome there. I think they're trying to build a mountain so they can have mountain biking. A whole housing complex. It's just constantly changing and constantly like that. I think they're they either want to host Super Worlds or the Olympics or something like that in the future. So they're okay, we need to build a mountain for mountain biking. We need to have a velodrome, and they just throw it up in a year.
Wow.
That's wild.
I don't know. It's kind of a weird place.
Yeah.
Can you ride outside of that circuit? Can you just take off down the road?
I've seen some teams do. Technically, we're not allowed.
Yeah.
We've been told we're not allowed. And even if you do, it's a stoplight every 200 meters or something. So I don't know. It's not the most pleasant riding outside of the circuit. The circuit, it's just bikes. You're just doing laps.
That's kind of nice because then it's not stressful. You can just zone out.
Yeah. It's fine enough. Just kind of mind numbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the race starts in a couple of days, right?
Yeah, we start Thursday.
Okay. So then it goes all different places around there. The race does.
Yeah. The transfers are actually pretty long because some of them just start the middle of nowhere. And we're an hour and a half from Dubai, so a couple are around Dubai. The last stage is near a mountain, the only mountain around here that's just a couple hours away. So they're long days, but yeah.
Huh.
It's fine. It's fine. It's really boring. If there's no wind, it's really boring because it's 6-lane roads you're racing on, and then you just ride around. No one really wants to do anything, and then you sprint.
That's good for you.
It's good for me, but it's boring.
Yeah.
If there's crosswinds, on the other side, if there's crosswinds, you're just getting your head kicked in all day.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I ever watch UAE tours, if there's you find out there's crosswinds and it blows the race apart. That's always fun. Not for you, but for us.
No, there's one stage that starts with a castle that every year I've done it, it's been crosswinds, and it's a 200-meter neutral. You take a left and the race starts immediately, but as soon as you go left, it's always crazy crosswinds. So pretty much everyone just full gas sprints the 200-meter neutral to try to be at the front. And then it's basically just a 30-second sprint from there to try to make a front group. And then the groups are formed within 30 seconds to a minute.
The classic neutral that's not a neutral. It's like junior racing.
Well,
It's like junior racing, yeah.
I was going to say, describe, because we've had a lot of professional male cyclists on the podcast, and you're our first professional World Tour female, because we've had PETA and we've had Allison, who used to be in the World Tour.
Yeah, they're former World Tour.
World Tour. But what is the vibe like on the start line now in the World Tour nowadays on the women's side? Is it just like tense, chaotic? Like what's going on?
Chill.
I'd say it can be pretty mixed. Definitely these first few races in Australia, I'd say it was more on the tense side. I mean, there's like this sport's progressed so fast, and so much money and opportunity has come into women's cycling in the past even like 3 years. So you're getting a lot younger riders who kind of, that brings their own set of nerves. There's like always, yeah, so you have like all this progression and money coming into it, but so many people are still on like 1 to 2 year contracts as well.
Yeah.
So I'd say there's a lot of stress because every race feels like an opportunity. And that's just the kind of vibe. I think as we progress more towards the men's model and contracts get longer and people can kind of settle into their job and their role, maybe things will chill a bit. But I think you'll always have the young ones that just bring that sense of like, what's happening? Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I just want to win the race, you know?
Yeah, we've talked about that with women's racing. The fact that the contracts are shorter make the stakes so higher.
And you can like feel that when you watch a women's race, which can make it a lot more exciting, or it can make it like terrifying because you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many crashes. But like you kind of empathize because you're like, well, this, to your point, feels like a huge opportunity that you've got to get those eyes on you. You've got to like win or whatever it may be to kind of get those contracts.
For so many out there, for so many of us out there, you're like one win or podium away from like a bigger contract or a better contract, or like, if you're not on a World Tour team already, a World Tour contract. So pretty much everything becomes an opportunity, and I think it's, in most situations right now, it's making the racing harder and a bit more dynamic and also interesting. Like, you're seeing these early breaks with riders who might not have had opportunity or been looked at in the past, and now you have all these big teams. You have SC Works, you have FDJ, you have Visma, and they're all looking at each other because in the past year there's been so much shuffling of riders around. So it's kind of like everyone's just in checkmate, like who's going to chase this down, who's going to bring this back, and then the break ends up making it to the line or making it pretty far in the race, and then that's life-changing for those riders. And still you have this huge like power battle kind of in the peloton of like who needs to be responsible for this. So it makes the racing both dynamic and also can kind of turn it into like a stalemate. You're riding around and you're like, okay, well, we're maybe one of the smaller World Tour teams, so it's not on us, or we have someone in the break, we're one of those riders, so it's not on us. And then pretty much every team starts thinking that same way. So it's interesting right now.
Visma, SD Works, you guys got to get to the front, or you girls got to get to the front and chase this down. We're not doing that. They're the ones with the big teams, right?
Well, and
exactly.
Does it make it like, because I was thinking about, a lot of World Tour, obviously men move around, some men move around just as much as anyone from team to team, but you do have a lot of teams in like the World Tour with men where they've been on the same team for a long time with the same guys, and so you assume that builds a pretty big culture of trust and camaraderie. Do you feel like sometimes, and hopefully to your point, it's changing on the women's side because so much more money is going into it and so much more attention, do you feel like sometimes it's hard to like get that strong team culture because people are having to kind of chase contracts and move around to make a living?
I definitely feel it's so transient right now. Like, I've only ever been on 1 and 2 year contracts, so I've made some great relationships within the teams and have kind of taken those first steps to like building that trust in those kinds of relationships. But I haven't quite felt I've got to that point where it's like you've worked with someone for years and years and years and know each other inside and out like you so well. I think some riders are getting to that. I mean, you look at riders like Tiffany Cromwell, who've been with Canyon for ages, or so I think there are riders getting to that point, and hopefully that's something we'll see, because I think that will just improve, like, yeah, the teamwork and the dynamics, and maybe even the specialization within teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now there's kind of a like expectation almost on riders to be everything.
Yeah.
Okay, you sprint, but we also want to see you climb because so many of the top sprinters, like Lorena, do climb so well.
Yeah.
So if you're a sprinter, we want to see you climb as well. Or you're a climber, but no, we also want to see you up there in the lead out and doing this. So like kind of everyone has to be a bit of everything right now. But yeah, again, I think with money and the longer contracts, I think that will start shifting. Uh, but it is an interesting time to be in the sport because every year is changing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So speaking of opportunity and taking advantage of opportunity, how good did that first World Tour win in Australia last week feel?
Oh, it felt amazing. I mean, it's pretty much, I think, my first win since 2022 national championships. So it's been a minute, and like it's pretty exhilarating to have had surgery 6 months ago and then come back into kind of my first proper race with form
Yeah.
and that be the result. Like, I mean, I can't really think of anything more motivating than that. Like, hey, okay, yeah, I'm back, and kind of, I'm finally fulfilling that potential like I knew I had, and was just inhibited before the surgery by the iliac artery issues. So yeah, it just feels like a huge step in the direction like I want to go in the sport and with my career. So that was super, super exciting.
Yeah, and I definitely want to come back to the surgery because I think when we saw you in April, you were talking about it. But the
I think
actual,
I've just been diagnosed.
yeah, exactly. The actual race though, from us watching it, it looked like you started your sprint early. Like it was like almost a track. Like you went pretty hard before I think everyone else was like, oh, uh-oh. And then you were just like, they weren't, it was impossible for them to catch you.
Maybe it was a bit early. I
Yeah.
kind of knew around 200 meters is like my sweet spot in a sprint, and I just came into it with so much speed
Yeah.
and I was in such a flow state. Like I'd crashed 2 laps before, right? Just before the finish line. And I don't know, that kind of, was exhilarating. I had that adrenaline rush after. So it just kind of put me in this like, oh yeah, follow this wheel. And kind of felt like a track race and just, tactical, watching the wheels come by. And I just had so much speed going into that sprint. And it actually, like, when I think back to it, it feels like it was slow motion. Like I can see each sign, the 250, 200 meters to go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this feels right. This feels right. But even still, like, when it's been so long since you've won something, when you see no wheels passing you and you just see the finish line in front of you, you're like, oh my God, what is happening right now?
It's all happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost unbelievable in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there like in that moment, are you just so confident in your sprint? You're like, I'm here. I'm in the right position. I got to go for it. Well, like, what's going through your mind?
Yeah, in the like initiating the sprint,
Yeah.
it all just felt, and I would say I'm like tactics and kind of like finishes like that are my strength, and just kind of reading the finish of a race. Like that's always kind of been my strength on the track, and I'd say on the road as well. So I felt pretty confident in like that initiation of the sprint. But after that, like, yeah, I guess my confidence was there. But again, when it's been a while since you've won something, it's like, do you almost expect someone to come around you, even though like you don't want that in your head.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
You're
the
like,
team?
this is weird.
Do you feel like the team had that expectation of you that day, or was it like, oh my gosh, this is really surprising for everyone because obviously coming back from surgery and being first big race again? What do you think the team was thinking?
I think there's always kind of that expectation. Like, we always seem to go into the race with either a podium or a win in mind, and I bet they like. The girls backed me pretty well. They backed me really well going into it. And from the riders' point of view, like, I think they knew I could do that. But also, like, we just finished TDU a couple days before. A bunch of the girls, like, I DNF stage 2, so the others were quite tired. We'd been on a bigger week because we kind of used that whole block for training. So I think just everyone was a bit like, oh, we're just going to go out and have some fun. And, if we can... We know how we have to ride those last 2K. If we can get a result, awesome. I don't think the team was affecting that necessarily at this point in the recovery.
Yeah. So post win, what was the celebration?
Well, we were staying in a beach house, like this really nice beach house,
Nice.
just outside of, where were we? Adelaide. And so we just went back. One of our riders who'd crashed out an earlier stage, and a couple of the staff threw a barbecue on, got some champagne. So we just had like a nice little, night to just celebrate the roller coaster that the whole week had been. We'd had one rider out with illness, one rider crashed on stage one of TDU. I'd had some nerve issues and lots of stress because of it after flying over to Adelaide. And then we won. So it was like kind of this kind of week. So I think we all just needed to, have a glass of champagne and a burger and just chill out for a minute.
Yeah, decompress and just be thankful for the experience.
Nice. Well,
just be like, okay, we're doing it.
What a huge relief.
For sure.
Like you said, back in April when we last saw you in person, you'd just been diagnosed, and we could tell you were stressed, even on our ride at that time. And I don't know if you had decided to get the surgery, but kind of walk us through what this condition is, surgery. It seems like a lot of professional female cyclists get this. Like I've noticed more. And I'm not as familiar with it. So kind of walk us through that if you can.
Oh, I can do that. I've learned a lot the past year.
I bet.
On all of this. So I first started feeling off, like something wasn't right in February. So before I'd seen you guys. And pretty quickly, like something's not right. I can't keep up in races. That was basically the first way I could describe it. Like I couldn't push. There was kind of no power there, and I was just getting dropped, and it couldn't really find an explanation for it. So like very quickly, ticked off all the blood work. So many, like this iliac artery endofibrosis condition can kind of present as some sort of illness, poor bike fit, fatigue.
Yeah.
Like when it's just this, your legs are tired or you can't keep up. It's really confusing what the root cause of it actually is. Like, is it mono? Is it, your bike fits? Have you overtrained? So kind of within that first month, I did all the blood work, checked my bike fit, took a week easy, did a harder week of training, and nothing was really making a difference in the sensations. So then April came around, and I went to my coach and was like, hey, well, I've heard of, Sarah Gigante was the big name who had just come back from it.
Yeah.
And like, well, I've heard of this iliac artery endofibrosis. Am I crazy to just want to test it and rule it out? And he went, no, we've tested everything else. Let's test this as well. So I went to kind of gold standard clinic in Eindhoven, Netherlands, to get my testing. They had a really set up good testing protocol. And so backstory with this is it's such a niche population that struggles with iliac artery endofibrosis because it's your iliac artery in your hip that's either being kinked or stretched or compressed in some way that's restricting blood flow to your legs. And that's your primary blood flow through to your legs.
Yeah.
So obviously if you're not getting blood flow, you can't push, you're going to have cramping, you're going to have all these symptoms. And because of our position on the bike, cyclists are the most susceptible to it. And that still makes a very niche population. And the surgery is relatively newer in the grand scheme of surgeries. And you don't have many athletes. I think they started at 25 years ago or so. They started doing these operations, but you don't really know what the outcome is in 50 years. Will it have to be redone? Will it come back? There's all these questions. So a lot of surgeons are very hesitant to, that's the word, thank you, to go ahead with it because their easy answer is stop riding.
Yeah.
Just quit.
Just
stop riding your bike.
Exactly. Just stop riding.
That's easy. We know that you won't be in that position. You won't be putting the same pressure on the arteries. Now it can get to a point where you also have symptoms like hiking and running and just in other areas of your life. So, I mean, that's not always just an easy answer, but a lot of surgeons kind of push for that. So I was kind of feeling this resistance when I got the testing. They were like, yes, you have it. You have low blood pressure in your ankles. You have, we can see some narrowing, but we want to try you on this low blood pressure medication and extensive physio.
Yep.
like first.
Yep. Of course.
And I'd read no research of it actually having that much of a difference. Like maybe if you catch it early in like super early stages, physio can help like prolong your career without surgery. But I think that's still like there's still some debate around that, and I think people are still figuring out how true that is. Um, so I was like, well, I didn't really have an option at that point. I couldn't just say, no, I want surgery. Like they weren't going to go ahead with that. They wanted me to take 3 months. So that's when I saw you guys. I think I had just gotten that news. So I just kind of ticked over the next 3 months, and things just kept getting worse. And
it's frustrating because in your mind you need the surgery.
Yeah.
Like
you're like, I know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Just do
exactly.
it.
I've done so much reading. I'd started talking to so many people, and I'm like, I really, really think I need the surgery. And then the other issue with this clinic, well, maybe it's not an issue for some people, but I felt it was an issue, was they would go in and likely only operate on one leg, see if that changed. And sometimes that fixes it for people, even if they have kind of it on both sides. But then in some cases, you have to kind of come back in maybe within the next year and get it done on the other side. So that's basically a year out with surgery, rehab, and then having it done again. And I really didn't like that idea. So I started looking for a second opinion kind of towards the end of that 3 months, when I figured out that their protocol wasn't really working. They would probably want to just operate on one leg. I had started hearing about this other surgeon who had a slightly newer protocol, quicker rehab, didn't cut through muscle. Like his operation seemed a bit less invasive. And so I had a consult with him, and he looked at all my imaging and everything, and he's like, it's pretty clear to me that we need to go in there and operate on both sides.
Great.
And I'm comfortable to say that you will and should have like significant benefits from this, and improvements after we do the operation. And I pretty much went at that point, like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I think I gave him the yes on a Thursday, and he's like, okay, can you come to Amsterdam on Tuesday?
Wow.
For the surgery.
That's amazing.
And I was like, yeah, okay.
You're like, I'll be there.
I will be there. I can do that. I'm like booking flights, booking Airbnb. Joe, come with me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a huge relief for, winning as well in the Tour Down Under. Like, just the validation of like, I'm not crazy. This surgery worked. Everything worked, because I feel like, obviously as people, but especially as women, because I've experienced it on like a micro level. I'm not a professional athlete. People just don't believe you, and they're like, oh, like, it'll go away, it'll be fine. Maybe you're just tired, or you don't eat enough. That's the number one thing, that you don't eat enough. That's why you're tired. And it's like, no, there's something wrong.
Like Nikki literally went through the same.
There is.
Yeah, she went through the same thing with an iron deficiency and ferritin issue.
Yeah.
It was
exact same thing.
Yeah, a much easier fix ultimately than what you had to go through, but the doctors made me feel like I was insane. They were like, no, I mean, your ferritin's a 5, which means you're like dying, but you'll be fine. Just eat more. And I'm like, I don't have 6 months to try and just like eat more to see if it works. But yeah.
No, and it's like, it really comes down to that self-advocating. And I think that was a huge like lesson for me last year, is to just trust what I feel. And when you know something is wrong, you have to keep advocating for yourself. And if one specialist isn't really giving you the answers, or isn't saying things that you necessarily feel good or align with, then there's other people out there, and you just got to keep searching for those people. So I think that was, huge. And I've said this all along, as soon as I had the schedule or the surgery booked, that became like the easiest part.
Yeah.
There's 3 months before it but it's also like, if they're putting you through this conservative treatment management, in the eyes of everyone else, they're like, well, I guess it's not that bad then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, like,
you're like getting
you don't
gaslit
understand
by everyone.
how horrible I feel. Honestly,
Yeah.
like that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as that surgery was scheduled, it was like a deep breath.
That's good. So does that surgeon know that you won your race?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We still stay in touch. He texts me probably every couple of weeks to check in how things are going.
That's awesome.
And he's super, super stoked.
It's like an incredible case study for him too.
Yeah. No, perfect.
Yeah. And I was one of, I think he had plenty of operations, but I think one of him working with my physio of like the first bilateral kind of comeback. And I've referred so many people to him since. Like, no, he had done other surgeries before. I didn't word that very well. I wasn't his first patient.
Yeah.
I wasn't patient 0.
You're like, we were in this
anyway,
weird back
like,
room and he told me.
yeah, exactly. No, I did not explain that very well. But
and now there's a poster of you on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine. How long afterwards did you start to feel normal again?
Honestly, as soon as I had the operation, I was like, oh my God, my feet are warm. I didn't realize how cold my feet have been.
Huh.
So immediately I felt like differences. And then I'd say on the bike, it took a couple of months to stop having kind of the same symptoms. Maybe quite a few months, maybe until December, I think was my first like completely symptom-free month.
Yeah.
And before that, it had just been kind of similar symptoms that I'd had before the surgery, which I knew to expect and was normal. And you just had to have patience and let all the nerves rewire and the tissue start healing. And that was all completely normal. So not stressing and overthinking it was probably the toughest thing, because when you've spent the past like multiple months analyzing every single symptom, it's
Right.
really hard to turn that off. But yeah, and then December came and I was like, I can ride like pain free. I can be on a bike for multiple hours with wanting to get off and stretch. And like before, every half an hour I'd want to get off and stretch.
Yeah,
And I didn't realize how not normal that was. And you just, everything becomes so normalized in your day to day. And you're like, wow, yeah, like anything pain free. As soon as you're pain free, like this is amazing.
Yeah, I have the same problem on the bike, but I think mine's just age. I want to stop and stretch.
Who knows? I have a great surgeon.
I think it's too late for me, Maggie.
I wonder if it is more common in women that like.
Yeah, it more common in women?
I mean, studies, if you look it up, no, because so many more professional men in the past have been treated. But from people I've talked to in recent years, it does seem to present more in women. And I don't know if, but like, that's the question. Why does some people get it and others don't?
Yeah.
Like when you train the same or some people more hours, why are they not getting it and certain people are? So maybe it comes down to genetics. Maybe there's a like pelvis, how your pelvis sits. Maybe that's why we're seeing a lot of women have it now. I think with women in the past, this might be a bit of a factor, but it was like the sport wasn't as professionalized.
Yeah.
So now that women can actually, like, the level's super high, so you can't pretend, you can't mask it, and like you have to be good and you have to be top of your game. So you can't just roll around even if you maybe not be amazing.
Yeah.
And people are probably listening, even though it's like they're not listening, but still they are listening more now. So like in the past, there could have been women who just didn't even have the access. Like their team wasn't going to support them to, get like, surgery and have to go through rehab. So
it'd be like, I guess I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that was a lot of the attitude. And yeah, I just think of how many riders in the past probably didn't know about this, didn't test for it, and they're like, I guess I just don't got it anymore. Like, this is it. I just can't keep up. Guess it's time to retire. And I'm sure that happened to tons of people. So I think it's also, the bias of like, you see people who've had this, so then it's on your radar. You're like, well, I might as well test for it.
Yeah.
And even still, it's not on that many teams' radars. I think that's changing, especially over the past year. But like I said, there was a lot of self-advocacy. You really have to kind of help educate still a lot of people within the team's systems on these kinds of things. Like, there's not that much information floating around on it yet.
Yeah, and I think that self-advocacy thing too. I mean, especially for Europeans, I think that's hard for them to be like aggressive and be like, hey, no, I really want to do this. But I think the more it's happening now, the more, like, you're a perfect example. You felt like you couldn't even ride last year, and now you just won a World Tour race. I think the more stories like that, it's definitely going to bring that to light. So, yeah. So what's next after UAE Tour?
Yeah, so UAE, head back to Girona, Andorra, and then we're into the classics. So it'll pretty much be in Belgium for most of March, April.
Do you know exactly
doing
what
all the
you're?
big classics.
Yeah, do you know exactly what you're doing? So you're doing like Omloop and then Flanders,
Yeah,
Roubaix, that whole thing.
yep, all of them.
Do you like the classics? Like,
All
do
of
you
them.
prefer the cobbled races, 1 day races, or do you like kind of these longer tours?
No, I'm most excited for the classics.
Yeah.
Especially like give me the worst conditions, give me pouring rain, 2 degrees, cobbles, all of that.
Spoken like a true Canadian.
Oh yeah. True to my Canadian roots.
I mean, those
Yeah,
are the
so
best
really
races to
excited.
watch too. They're so much fun to watch.
Yeah, we've been to Flanders many times.
Yeah.
So much fun. What if you picked
Oh,
one?
yeah.
If you picked one, what's your favorite one?
Flanders,
Flanders?
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flanders. And just the crowds, like you can't beat that atmosphere and just the chaos of the race. Like they're such long races, but they pass by like this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's just so much happening that you're just always on your toes.
Non-stop.
I like that you can also
Yeah.
like go to certain places and watch people go by multiple times. So it's not just this like you see someone once and then you never see the group again. Because we pretty much every single time we go, we stand on the Koppenberg. What is the Koppenberg that we're standing on?
No, we stay on
Or not the Paderberg.
the circuit. I'm blanking. Ode de Quermont.
Oh, the Quermont. That's right.
How could we forget the Ode de Quermont?
Well, I was
It's even
thinking-
got a beer name.
I know. I was even thinking like the K. I was like, it starts with a K. So
Yeah.
Well, we've watched multiple times on the Quermont,
Yeah,
which is
so
cool. 'cause
we've seen you go
through.
by.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That's fun. That's fun.
Much
Well,
more fun for
yeah.
us being able to drink.
Painful,
and watch.
yeah. I was gonna say that one because it's so long and gradual. There's so much pain on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What is the strategy there for you? Are you just hoping to continue to make the front grow? Because basically it's just attrition, right? It's like attrition. So every time you go through a cobbled section, you want to be in the front. Is that the kind
Yeah,
of
so
mentality?
I've only done Flanders once, but that basically is what it feels like. You always just want to be in good position and yeah, make that split because just every time you hit a climb, it pretty much splits. And so just be on the right side of that.
Yeah, because position is really it. I mean, if you're behind, 20 girls and there's a gap opened up on the Quermont, then it's game over.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're the strongest rider there, if a gap opens up and you can't get around, yeah, you're going to be chasing and you're probably not going to have much left at the end,
Yeah.
even if you do make it back.
How much communication is going on amongst you all in the group in those kind of races? Like, are y'all talking or is it just...
Amongst other teams?
Yeah.
Or within our team?
But both. Was there chatter going on? Are y'all
Amongst-
talking shit to each other? Like, get out of my way kind of stuff? Give us some insight.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of yelling and screaming within it. I wouldn't say so much talking. I'd say mostly a combination of swear words and sounds.
Just like,
Primarily that. That's all the races are. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, stay! What the fuck are you doing? Like, all
yeah,
that.
a lot of it sounds like it's yelling, like, why are you doing this? Why are you being an idiot in front of me? You're going to cause me to crash.
Literally, why are you being an idiot in front of me is pretty much, what most of the communication is.
Are you going to do a grand tour this year?
I'm not sure. I don't know my schedule beyond the classics.
Okay.
So I hope so. I'm also really hoping, I think I haven't done Tour of Britain before, and I think that would be a really, really good tour for me.
Why is-
I mean, with Joe being British too, that like excites me.
Yeah.
And I think and obviously the Grand Tours, I'd be there for the sprint stages. And I think Tour of Britain, the courses are a little bit more balanced. And so that's kind of a target that I'd like to see this year.
Yeah.
And go to.
When is that?
And that's in August.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Towards the end of
Perfect.
August.
Perfect time to be in the UK.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that'd be
great.
cool. Have you done Paris-Roubaix before?
Yeah, I've done it 3 times.
What is that like?
the the most pain you can ever imagine.
Yeah.
It is horrible, actually.
Yeah, it's like Flanders is fun and Paris-Roubaix is not fun.
No, those cobble sectors are just so horrible, and by the end, like you can't feel anything. Like you can't feel the saddle beneath you, your handlebars, your shoulders, your neck, your legs, everything. There was so much pain all over. And then, yeah, you get to the velodrome and you just want to cry because it's done.
Just to survive.
We're like,
You're
so
like, I made it. Oh my
which
God.
women out there want to become cyclists? This is really fun.
Yeah, you're really selling this professional
Yeah, I'm
cycling
really
thing.
selling it. It's so funny though, because when I see people riding, like pre-riding or, groups coming over and riding like Roubaix, I'm like, why would you do this to yourself?
Yeah.
Do you know how awful these cobbles are? Like, it's cool. It's cool. And ahead of the race, I'm like, of course I want to do it because it's like the coolest race out there. But yeah, in practice.
I did the Sportif one time, and I was like, "This sucks. I'd never want to do this again."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was just not fun.
Well, because you said the cobbles are a lot bigger and further apart than in Flanders, so it's just,
not a road. It's just not a road.
Yeah.
No, it's just not something a road bike should be riding on, but we do, and we call it amazing and super cool.
Yeah, Flanders is way more fun.
Yeah, I had a blast
Flanders
in
is
Flanders.
way more fun.
Other than the weather being unpredictable, because I'm not riding in like freezing, sub-freezing rain. When I don't need to.
Nikki's from Florida. She's
I'm
not
like,
from
this
British
isn't my
Columbia.
job, so I'm not gonna. Free will is a wild thing.
I'm good.
Yeah, but we did have like the one year where the weather was. It was my first time doing the Sportif.
Yeah, she got lucky the first time.
And it was like sunny. I mean, it was cold, and I don't mind the cold, but as long as it's sunny. And it was just like the most perfect day. I like cried at the end because I was like, this is so amazing. Like, we were like 130 miles in, and I was just like, this was the coolest thing ever. Just to be able to experience. And then next year or 2 years later, we went back and it was like sleeting and raining. And I was like, okay, this is not the same thing that I did.
What about home? Are you coming home to British Columbia? Vancouver, right? Outside Vancouver, is that where you're from?
Yeah, my family's just outside of Vancouver. I hope so. Last year I went like a whole year without coming back, and I found that's really tough because I don't see my family much and stuff when I'm over in Europe. So I really hope after the classics I can come home for a couple of weeks. I'm planning maybe a little bit of a break. So still need to see what my calendar is for the second half of the season. But yeah, I'd like to come back then. And then usually in off season, Joe and I go back.
Yeah. What's the riding like there?
It's nice. It's like out where my family is outside of the city. It's a lot of just farm roads, and there's a lot of amazing mountains there. But because it's just, Canada, like backcountry, there's really no roads up it.
Yeah.
But you have cool mountain biking, you have cool gravel riding, good road riding. Like, it's been a great place to grow up, and you have the little velodrome out there. So you kind of had a mixture of everything.
That's where the track in you comes from. So you grew up riding on the track.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough. That was one of I think we had 2 indoor tracks when I was growing up in Canada, one out east, and then this one in Vancouver, a little 200-meter track, half made of plywood. But I got to grow up riding it. You're inside through the rough Canadian winters, and that's where, the tracky in me came from.
That's awesome.
And did one of your parents do track, or obviously cyclists if they got you into track at a pretty young age?
Yeah, so before I was born, they had an adventure tour business. So they took like mountain bike tours down to Moab and all through kind of BC in the interior. And then when I was like 2 or 3, they bought a bike store.
Oh, cool.
And so they never really raced on track themselves, but my dad had a team with one of the ex-national team track coaches, and a lot of our like past Olympic medalists from the track raced road with that team. So that was kind of who I grew up around. So I always kind of had that kind of mentorship. And that's kind of where the track, like, oh, I want to be like you, like super cool growing up around Olympic medalists. And because we used to have a really, really good team pursuit program. So that's where kind of that inspiration came from, for sure.
That's cool. We have a track in Atlanta too, and it's
but it's outside.
It's an outdoor concrete track.
It's concrete, and there's like holes. It's so rough.
But there's not many in the U.S., so we have one of them. But it's a huge development, like child development kid thing.
If you're a junior, you can. I mean, you won't necessarily get a super nice track bike, but they have tons of track bikes, so that way juniors can just go and like try it out, and they don't have to actually buy a track bike to do it. And it's pretty well funded and supported by the cycling community here in Atlanta.
Yeah, a lot of those outdoor tracks in the U.S. seem to have really good youth programs. Like that one does. Pennsylvania, they have a good track that we'd always go in the summer and race at. New York has an outdoor track nearby. Yeah, you guys do junior development well.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Atlanta?
I have been for a crit, I think.
Well, you probably flew into Atlanta, and then maybe did you go to Twilight? Was it the crit?
In Athens?
Yeah, in Athens. Like
yes. That's okay. That's probably why.
Yeah. So you flew into Atlanta, drove to Athens. It's about 45 minutes to an hour. And then that was a crazy nighttime.
I mean, it's pretty fun, though. Yeah,
fun crit, right?
Yeah, Athens is one I'd want to go back to. Like Athens and Tulsa Tough are two crits I would love to return to one day.
We're biased. They're both awesome.
Yeah.
Like Athens is like for American cycling is such a huge deal for us because it's such a fun. It's just fun.
But now we're going over to the UK, to London for Via Crit.
Yeah.
You
heard of
Via?
Via?
Are you? Cool.
Yeah, Via Crit.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael's gonna race. Possibly Cole is gonna race.
Yeah.
So we're hoping Michael will maybe shake things up in London at the crit scene.
That'd be fun. When is that?
June.
Or June.
Yeah, like June 17th.
June. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're around, jump in Via Crit.
I don't know. We raced a crit in TDU because just before Cadell's Great Ocean Road Race, the Point Pro we were supposed to race there was canceled because of fire, so they just put a crit on. And obviously racing with like a world tour field is the most highly contested crit I've ever been in.
Yeah.
But, like, this is so fun. Like I think everybody came away regardless of the result and was like, that was amazing. Like it was so much fun. So more crit than world tour.
Yeah, that would be exciting to watch.
That would be cool. Did you happen to get interviewed by Peter Mullins on the start line during her little Aussie slang thing that she was doing?
Yes. I think I got Arvo thrown at me. Luckily, I knew that one.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for doing this, especially our first ever Middle East podcast. You were able to check the box for us, and I'm glad it didn't work out in Australia, so we could talk now.
Yeah,
especially after your big win. And then
it's worked out well.
I guess we'll probably be seeing Joe over in the U.S. here soon. And then maybe we'll be over midsummer, so we'll definitely maybe we'll try to do a Girona stop.
Yeah, and you'll see Michael soon in Girona. Yeah. He's going over for Traca, so if you're going to be
there,
is he? Okay. Yeah.
He's going
for Traca.
Santivai and Traca. Yeah, both.
And Traca. Okay. Yeah. Then I'll see him probably next week when I'm back.
Yeah, he'll be there soon.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good luck. We're gonna be cheering for you.
Yeah.
You're giving us a reason to watch the UAE tour.
Exactly.
Yeah, hoping for crosswinds.
Exactly.
We'll pray for the crosswinds.
Yeah, pray for crosswinds. Perfect.
All right.
Good to see you both.
Yeah, good to see you too.
See you later.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.